I have enjoyed making the top 5 ski areas in North America videos over the past couple of years. When I started, I knew that listing the steepest areas would generate a lot of comments and discussion. With the original video having over 103,000 views as of April 2024, I am amazed at its success. I must apologize for taking so long to do this update. It wasn't until my recent trip to Canada before I skied someplace new that knocked one of my favorite resorts off my original list. I want to thank all of the people who made comments on that original Top 5 Steepest Ski Areas video. I received a lot of really good recommendations and recently benefited on my last ski trip outside of Utah. I can't list everyone's favorite ski area, but that is what happens when there are only 5 spots, and I hope you will forgive me. Fortunately, I found a new ski area that has quickly become one of my favorites, and also has some of the steepest terrain in North America. I found a few other resorts that come close to making the list, but will explain why they fell short. Feel free to go back to the original video to see which resorts made the initial cut. You can find a link in the description below. Before continuing with the updated list, it is probably best to review the ground rules as to what it takes to be on it. First, I cannot recommend any place I have not skied. I do get around a bit, but have not been everywhere. If you don't see your favorite ski area on this list, please leave a comment below and I will try to make it there in the near future to verify your claims. Second, the steep runs need to be lift accessible without more than a step or two of hiking. If you have to pull off your skis and boot pack any distance to get to the goods, it doesn't count. I do plan an update in the next week or so of the best side country areas and will completely revise my old list based on more stringent criteria. If you have to hike to get to the steep runs, you may see those resorts in that future video. Finally, every ski area has steep runs, and so to make this list, the steeps have to have some length to them. 2 or 3 turns is not nearly enough. If you fall at the top and slide to the bottom, it should take enough time to get through the Lord's Prayer before you come to a rest. My original list included the following 4 ski areas, and they will remain in this updated one. Big Sky in Montana, Snowbird in Utah, which is my home mountain, Jackson Hole in Wyoming, and Taos in New Mexico. If you are interested in more information on those mountains, please rewatch my original video, as there are some great stories about each of them. I originally listed Alta Ski Area in Utah, which is right next to Snowbird, and is also what I consider my home mountain. If you are upset that I removed Alta from the list, just consider it as part of Snowbird, as you can ski both areas in the same day with your Icon Pass, provided you've paid for the upgrade. So what replaces Alta? This year I made a long overdue trip to Canada and skied the resorts in the Banff Lake Louise area. Banff Sunshine has a lot of great steeps, but the really scary stuff requires a hike, not to mention a beacon, shovel, probe, and ski buddy before they let you go up. It sounds kind of like Big Sky. They do have some lift access stuff that comes close to the other 4 areas on my list, but close doesn't cut it. I will admit that when I skied Lake Louise, the conditions were less than ideal. I still made an effort to try and get to the steep stuff to look at it and compare it to other places on this list. Unfortunately, I didn't think it would knock any of the original 4 out of contention. Feel free to disagree and leave a comment below. Finally, I made the extra hour-and-a-half drive to Kicking Horse based off all the comments made in previous videos. I appreciate the recommendations, as Kicking Horse really does have the steeps. I will admit that some comments oversold the area's difficulty, but overall it has quite a few runs worthy of this list. Unfortunately, I had to disqualify any of the runs in Foyt's and Ozone Bowls, as they require a bit of a hike. That's fine though, as everything off CPR Ridge is easily accessible and compares with the GAD chutes at Snowbird. CPR stands for Canadian Pacific Railroad, and not the medical process to use after a heart attack. Thanks to Nick and Dennis, 2 Kicking Horse locals, for sharing that information. They also shared how to say Foyt's Bowl, so blame them if I'm saying it wrong. I did make it to the top of Whitewall after a quick walk up the stairs and ended up helping a couple of guys from Pennsylvania get through a particularly nasty rock band they couldn't see from the top. Should you find yourself at the top of Stairway to Heaven, stay to the skier's right, as that is my favorite path down. It is definitely a no-fall zone, but also very skiable. I would like to make one more change to my original list. I gave Silverton, Colorado an honorable mention simply because I have yet to ski it. Please feel free to keep it on the list as an honorable mention, but since I am updating the list this year, I also want to give an honorable mention to Alyeska in Alaska. I've been there and seen some of the steeps on the mountain, but have yet to put on skis and experience them myself. I am hoping to get there in the near future, but have to slot it in with trips required for my regular day job. I hope you like this update video, and if you do, please click that thumbs up icon below. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel as I'm working to update several more videos in the very near future. You won't want to miss them.